Hi, and welcome to the Crit Hit Wild podcast, where we cover all things Marvel Crisis Protocol, and we cover a new character every week. This week, we will be doing Shadowcat, and I'm your host, Fred.
I'm Brad.
Am I
Uh,
next?
what just happened? I I I think I think that we lost Brad for a second.
What?
I do think we lost Brad.
Can you not hear me?
Yeah, we lost you there, Brad. Nope,
We can
we
hear
did
you
not hear
now.
you.
Oh, I'm Brad. I said it.
I'm branded.
You know what's really bad is he's the one who's recording, so it probably will show up on the podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
it'll
everyone
make
will
me
think that
it'll
we're
make me and
crazy.
Fred look weird. Like we're
Yeah. Oh well. Well, unfortunately, Steven can't be here today because of a prior conflict, but we will soldier on without him. We will get his take next week. But until then, how are you doing, Brad?
Fine.
That's good. How was your Thanksgiving? Did you have a nice Thanksgiving?
Sure, it was good.
Yeah, we were recording the weekend after American Thanksgiving, so we all are stuffed full of turkey right now. Hey, Brandon, how are you doing?
doing good.
How was your Thanksgiving?
It's, I didn't have to work, so I can't complain too much.
Yeah, that's a big positive.
We take those when we can get them.
Yeah. Well, my Thanksgiving was very very nice as well. Myself and she who tolerates living with me managed to get a new member of our family. We have a kitten. We got a new kitten. Her name is Mishka, and she is a tiny, tiny ragdoll kitten, and she is adorable. And that is what we have been spending all of our free time doing, just hanging out with this new kitten.
So what does this put your animal count at?
Uh, this is our 10th animal living in our house. Oh boy, I didn't even think about that, but that is true. we
Most
have
of them are rats, right? Or rats,
yes,
right? Yeah.
yeah, we have 8 rats, and now we have 2 cats.
Pretty soon you'll have less
And
rats.
I no, the cats and the rats do not interact at all. We keep them separated for everyone's safety. But yeah, it's we own a menagerie, as it turns out, and I wouldn't have it any other way. Well, let's move on. Let's move on to some news and announcements. First off, I'd like to announce the that North Coast Games will have a tournament coming up on December 2nd. That's North Coast Games near Cleveland. I don't think it's actually in Cleveland. I think it's in one of the suburbs. But if you're in that area, head on over to North Coast Games on the 2nd and get a game in. It'll be fun. And are there any other tournaments that we're gonna announce? I don't think so.
Um, I don't know. There's probably going to be something on December 16th in Charleston that may or may not be an MCP
So
tournament.
probably. Oh, it may not be.
We may do something different. I don't know. I'll see what people
Okay.
want to do.
Okay. Okay. Well, there will be something going on December the 16th in South Charleston, West Virginia. If you're in the area, come on down to do something. It'll be fun, whatever we do. Uh, but other than that, I think that that's it for our tournament announcements. Uh, as I understand it, there has been yet another update to the timelines document for MCP. Is that correct, Brad?
Yeah. It's a big one. So
Okay.
they added Cassandra Nova back to Sentinels.
Yeah, corrected that clear
Yeah.
mistake.
And then they listed what crisis cards are legal because there's a lot of confusion because they did not have any listed.
Oh, so like it's not all of them?
So they didn't have any listed. So the question was, whether we couldn't play any crisis cards, which was clearly wrong, or if we could play all of them, including herbs and panic.
Oh boy, you're right. I didn't even think about that. There's some
So,
that you can't play.
but there was no guidance in the document. So they added a list like the other things. They just added a list of ones you're allowed to play. So Fred, you ready for the ones you're allowed to play?
Yes.
It's all the ones that are legal anyway in every other format. The ones that come in the pack.
Right. It's the ones
Yeah.
It's the ones that if you were going to think about it are the ones that would be legal.
Right. Now
They don't
here's
want to do the ones that don't function. They don't want to do and they don't want to limit the ones that you have access to because
well, they
some
To be
can,
fair, herbs is really fun if you take out all the shenanigans. Herbs is a fun crisis.
I
which
mean, you're
they
right. It is
probably
a fun crisis, but
they probably did take out all the shenanigans, but you still can't play it. So
yeah.
here's the thing: you have 3 lists where you have to take 3 of each crisis card, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
They all have to be different.
they all have to be different.
Oh no, really?
Yes. So do you know how many extracts there are?
Are there are there 8?
9?
Are
There's
there less
9.
than 9?
No, there's
There
10.
there are
There's
10 of
10.
them.
Uh, okay.
So you get to pick one
Okay.
extract not to take. There are 12 secures. So there's 3 you don't have to take. But
Okay.
Cool, so I can just not take spider infected.
And I could just not take hammers.
sure. Anyway, I had not thought about that wrinkle of this format. That's definitely interesting, at least. That you
It
have to,
actually I think it is interesting.
yeah,
You
you
have to
have to be
think
able to
through your
play.
roster.
Yeah, you have to be able to play 9 out of 10 and 9 out of 12 secures.
Yeah.
Which is probably just good for being a better player, right?
Yeah, getting
Which is
practice on every secure shape and every
which is
yeah.
their goal for this format is to show that you're a good MCP player, not a good
And there
A
are some
well-rounded
Hulk
player.
player.
there are some affiliations that are there are some affiliations too that are just way better at like all I that's one thing I've realized playing Asgard. Like I'm not sure how great they are, but like they're really good on like all of the secures and all the extracts. Like they have play on all of them just with like their base selection of characters.
Like just the way that they play is good
Like
at at scenario play.
yeah, like they can play a really fighty game and they can also play like they're really good on pay to flips. They're like probably the worst secure I can think of for them is probably like Superpower Scoundrels because they're a little hard to go wide. But
Yeah, because
like
you have to have a
Wait, who
5-pointer
are
who
we
leads
talking
you.
about? I think I missed that part.
At
Asgard.
Asgard, which is not available, right?
Are they not available?
I don't think you can play Asgard in timelines.
Wait, really?
Yeah,
I
Okay.
because
want you
they're
to know that
not.
this format only gets worse and worse for me.
Uh, I'm pretty sure it's only Earth-based teams
Huh.
specifically. I'm gonna
What
double
this
check
is
here.
not playing as Asgard isn't like an S tier faction.
It's not about
No
No,
that.
one's playing with
they're
the death.
No
they're
Yeah, I
barely a
know.
Asgard.
beat.
No
I
Asgard.
yeah, I'm still super out on timeline. This is dumb.
It is. It's a terrible format. Nobody's gonna play, and they're gonna have to abandon it, which
Yeah,
would
like
be
this only
very
gets worse
fine.
and worse. The more I try to get into it, the faster I get out of it.
Yeah.
So just for a complete
I
list,
I think that
you can play A Force, Avengers, Brotherhood, Cabal, Criminal Syndicate, but only Claw and Modoc, Defenders, only Daredevil, Hydra, Sentinels, Shield, Spider Foes, Uncanny X-Men, Wakanda, Web Warriors, Winter Guard, X-Force. That's it. Those are all the affiliations you're allowed to play.
Oh my god! And even Brotherhood, you lose like half your models.
No, you
Yeah.
don't. Who do you lose?
Well, I turned it on and lost 4 models in my list. So hold on. You lose Emma, Rogue, Sabretooth, Apex Predator.
You do lose those 3.
I mean, I guess you still just play Magneto, Juggernaut.
Well, yeah.
Just what about what's their face?
Who? Oh, you don't get Scarlet Witch
You
either.
lose Scarlet Witch.
Yeah, you don't get Scarlet
Jesus
Witch.
Christ! I'm.
You have enough
Here's a
Brotherhood
question.
stuff.
I guess I could play Shadow King
Yeah. What's your
as
question,
like
Fred?
the other 5.
Yeah, so if they were to have a quote unquote timelines, but without the same restrictions, like just a 3 roster tournament that you have to plan out kind of in the same way, but no restrictions, do you think it would get more play?
Yes.
100%. Yeah, 100%.
Absolutely. Like I kind of like the idea of having a restricted build list and maybe like being able to choose which roster you play
Yeah.
on in each phase of the
But you
tournament.
have to
But
play. But you have to play all your rosters. Like if it's
right.
3 rounds, you have to play them all once. If it's 6 rounds, you have to play them all twice.
Yeah.
I would actively love to play a tournament where I can just play like a different list every round. I don't like my biggest thing is the restriction. I don't like that I'm massively limited on what models I can play.
Yeah, so I feel
And
like
it's
what
not
we're
like they've
saying
eliminated a
is
couple. They've eliminated a ton.
yeah, it's a ton. I feel like what we're saying is there is a gaming system here in the timelines that would be fun if they would just take their hand off the wheel a little bit. I think they're just trying to force people to play what they want people to play,
Uh,
which
longtime
How many
viewers.
models does it actively eliminate?
I don't
Do
know.
we know?
I know that
I think it was
it's
something like 76 is in the
yeah,
roster
in the
or
game,
or
which means
available.
it's about half, right?
Yeah, it's about half.
Uh,
It just hurts.
longtime listeners will realize that Fred just said basically what I said 2 weeks ago when I was like, "There's some interesting stuff here, but the limitations are going to be no one's going to play it."
Yeah.
We don't have anyone who listens to this show.
You do.
Well, true. And I
How
agree with you,
playable
Brad. This is me agreeing with you.
how playable is A Force in this?
They've got a
You
pretty
can play
short
She-Hulk.
list. It's
Oh my
She-Hulk.
god, there's 8 models.
Yeah, She-Hulk, Black Cat, new Captain Marvel, Domino, Okoye, Shuri, Spider-Woman, the new Black Cat.
Oh, and the Black Widow.
Yeah, new Black Widow.
Oh
sorry.
my god, that's so awful. And none of them have wait, does Captain Marvel have flight?
She
And
Yes.
someone
does.
has
Yeah.
flight.
Yeah, Captain Marvel has flight.
Is that the only model with
Yeah.
flight? I mean, I guess that's the
Can you even play that card though?
I guess that's
I think it's in there, but
it it's legal in standard play.
that doesn't mean it's
So
legal
I'm
in
assuming.
timelines. Like first class is not legal in timelines.
Just to clarify, which card are you referring to
Uh,
for A-Force?
special delivery.
Yeah,
Special delivery. Yeah.
just for the listeners out there.
Mm-hmm. And Fred.
And
Well,
Fresh, yeah.
I did know what he was talking about, but I wanted to.
Did you know the name of it
No, I did
though?
not know the name of it. I didn't know the name.
Special delivery is not on the list unless something's
It
wrong
is.
with
No,
this.
it's legal.
Okay, no, something is working. Okay, something has happened. I will tell you about it. I don't know if you want me to discuss it on here. It's a fix that you're working on, but I don't have any person in my list so it eliminated everything besides just the normal tactics cards.
Oh, okay. Good. Um, it's okay. Huh. Okay. Well,
So, and I added She-Hulk, and all of the Shield and A-Force and Avengers cards are showing up.
that's good. That's how it's supposed to work.
Yeah. Okay. Special delivery is when an A-Force character with flight begins a move action within 2 of an allied She-Hulk. During its activation, they may spend 1 power each to play this card before moving the miniature. When the active character ends the move, place She-Hulk within 1 of it. She-Hulk may immediately perform one of her attacks that has a power cost listed of 0. It is one of the best tactics cards in the game, and
It's
is
amazing.
specific to uh, A-Force, which is an affiliation that I've actively said for a while now that is massively and criminally underplayed.
And She-Hulk is one of the big bruisers who still exists in
Yeah, she's
Timeline.
the
timelines.
only
She's
one.
the only one. Yeah, she's the only one. And fun fact, she never got updated, but is still really, really good.
Yeah. She's always just been great.
Yeah. Like the only flaw on her is that she's on a medium base instead of a large base.
Yeah.
Like that's it. And that's not a flaw. Like that's just simply not a flaw. Like it just happens to be that's just like if you could pick something that's negative about her, it's the fact that she's on a medium base instead of a large base.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Uh so do we have anything else to talk about when it comes to timelines?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. All right. Let's move on to games that we've played recently. So, I know for a fact that Brandon has played several games recently. And I
Yes.
also think that Brad has. I'm less certain, but I think that he
Yeah,
has.
I played. Did I play 2 games? Yeah, I think I
Did you
did.
play a game of did you play 2 or 3?
I think I played 2. One with you and one with Borka.
3? Okay. I played 5. Um
Oh my goodness, y'all are getting the reps. I played none because I'm dropping the ball,
because you
but
actively dodged me.
I did actively dodge you. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. So, Brandon, tell us about some of your games that you have played recently.
Um I've most of the games I played actually were with Asgard. I've played 4 of those 5 were with Asgard. Um we played 2 games against Guardians of the Galaxy, 2 games against Avengers, and 1 game against X-Men. Right now,
You
4.
played it.
That's too many games. 1 against Avengers, 1 against X-Men, 2 against Guardian, and then I played Defenders against Avengers. We played New Cap. I can make it kind of quick. The first Asgard game, honestly, I don't remember much about it. I want to say I know what I played roughly, and it ended up in a table. Um, actually, both of the games against Guardians of the Galaxy ended up in me tabling the opponent.
Oh
Um,
boy.
the first one, he actively wanted to play Agent Venom, so he played a point down. That did not end well.
Yes. Play a
Um,
point down.
Do not
he's
play a
he's
point
he's
down.
he's listening too much to the podcast and Brad, and the problem is his point down went from Angela to Agent Venom.
No, don't do
Um,
that.
Which is a big downgrade. That's a big downgrade.
in
The
a very brawly scenario. It was I think it was Gamma and Hammers. I think he played 14 on a 15-point scenario, and I played um Thor, Scourge. And I played Thor, Scourge, Valkyrie, and Beta Ray Bill. And then
Scourge.
he played Nebula, Rocket, Groot, Star Lord, Agent Venom. So he playing a point down did not help him at all. Um, he also was setting himself up for a really good turn but didn't realize that I was gonna have priority, and then I got to do Thor's area attack into all four of his models with
Ooh.
holding two hammers.
Oh
Uh,
no.
so it was like 9 dice area attack into all four of his models, and it just became a sweep. Especially because, fun fact, in that matchup, Groot and Agent Venom do not roll well against energy. Um, so it was just bad. Made some mistakes, learned from it, moved on. Um, I played against the new Captain America Avengers. Um, we played.
Was this Borka?
This was Borka. Yeah, we played. Trying to remember what it wasn't.
It was
I
the
don't.
one that's offset. I think it's Alien Ship.
I think that's what we played for his was Alien.
Meteors.
Trying to remember.
Oh, is that?
Deadly Meteors. Yeah, so
It's
Deadly
Deadly Meteors.
Meteors. That
Okay.
was mine. Yeah, so it was Deadly Meteors and ooh, I'm trying to remember. Cubes,
No, I think it was
maybe.
Hammers. If this was the game that I was
The
watching.
game you did watch, so if
Yeah.
it might have been Hammers. I have a real big problem now that playing the cards that are the tokens that don't tell me what they are, I forget almost instantly what I'm playing,
Yeah.
and that's problematic for me.
Same. Same. Absolutely the same.
So that he won that game pretty good. He up and down Beta Ray Bill. He dazed Beta Ray Bill on turn one and killed him on turn two with Scarlet Witch. And the game just continued in that manner for him. He won on points. The
Yeah.
second game, go ahead.
The dice were nuts. Like I watched it happen. His first attack into Beta Ray Bill did what was it? 7 or 8
He had
hits.
8 successes. Yeah,
Yeah. And then he did it again with one attack at the top of the next round.
yeah. He was averaging like 8 plus 6 successes with Scarlet Witch specifically.
Now Scarlet
Um,
Witch counts skulls, so that
Yeah,
happens.
there's little things she wasn't counting. Captain America's leadership being able to
Oh yeah.
change one of the choices also helped. It wasn't like it was just straight dumb luck. It was just, some dice manipulation as well. The other side of the board did not go bad for me. But then it just kind of got left where it was just like Thor and Angela trying to survive against everybody else that he had.
Yeah.
Um, and that didn't work out. The second game I played was against Brad, which I will let Brad talk about because I think it's one of the only games he has to talk about. Um, we ran back. Me and Borka played another game. I played Defenders this time because I was coming off of not a great streak with Asgard, and I needed to get my love. I needed to get some love back into the world. Uh, feel a little bit better about myself. So we played Defenders. We played Gamma Hammers
Ugh.
at 15. There was a lot of hammers played that night, but we played Gamma Hammers at 15. I played Hulk, Ghost Rider, Daredevil. He played Immortal Hulk, Captain America, Iron Man. Hulk 1 still beats Hulk 2. I threw Immortal Hulk into Iron Man 3 times and killed him. Never attacked him, just kept throwing Immortal Hulk into him. I killed Immortal Hulk and Captain. I don't know if I ever killed Captain America. If we just kind of moved on. It
Man, you
was.
killed Immortal Hulk. I mean, I know it's
Immortal Hulk
doable.
every. I've killed Immortal Hulk every time he's been on the table.
Yeah.
To be fair, a lot of it has been Ghost Rider, and I'd like to try. I have dazed him multiple times with Ghost Rider, taking his power away.
Right, that's the thing. Ghost
So
Rider is real good into Immortal Hulk.
he has not healed a ton. From my, I think in this game I do think he healed like 8. The problem is Hulk then being able to hit him twice is still better for Hulk.
Yeah.
So you just gotta punch him twice. The last game was Asgard's versus Guardians. This was a particularly learning game for. We played Gamma Hammers. Um, because
Stop it.
apparently, yeah, I just apparently that's to be fair, and like mine wasn't gamma, mine was hammers. Like I don't have gamma in my Asgard list, like at all. I have three pay to flips. Like it's just I have hammers in my extracts. It is mostly for the point value at 18. Like they play really well at 18, and it just happened to be that that's what we flipped over every time. I really wanted to play Paranoia. To a point of I almost just simply selected Paranoia because I want to play that scenario more. I don't feel like I've played it enough, and I want to play it more, and I will probably actively attempt to play it more going forward, just because I want to play it more.
Yeah.
Um, so we played Game of Hammers. I played Noah. This was a really big learning game for Noah. He ended up getting tabled. Um, he played a Hulk, so we played. I think we played 18, because he played Star Lord. No, he might have played 15. Hold on, Star Lord, Rocket, Groot, which is 8, and then Hulk. 14. He didn't play Nebula. Maybe, yeah, maybe he did play Nebula. No, he didn't play Nebula. He played Beta Ray Bill. So 18. So we played 18. Um, we talked about it and discussed how that game should play out on his side of the board. Um, he ended up moving Hulk over to the side to try to get a hammer. The side hammer, he picked up the back hammer, tried to go get the side hammer. um, and kind of kept Hulk out of the fight for almost 3 rounds, which then allowed me to kind of just pick everybody else apart. And then by the time Hulk was really in the fight, Thor and Beta Ray Bill are really good against Hulk because they both can throw size 4 characters. So most of that game, we talked about it. We discussed that on Game and Hammers, he'll almost always have activation control, and he should put Hulk right up the middle, grab the back hammer with Rocket, and just shoot shots in, which he had kind of thought about, but didn't know if that would be the best use of the hammer. And anyone who's played against Guardians of the Galaxy knows that Rocket with a hammer is the most miserable experience you can play against
Yeah.
because
I
you
hate it.
can't fucking do anything to him.
Yeah.
Uh, and that's what I kind of told him. I was like, you kind of want to set up to where Rocket has range 5 on the back point, with Groot able to heal both Hulk and Rocket, or bodyguard for Rocket and heal Hulk as needed, and your other flanks are Star Lord and Beta Ray Bill. So I think going forward, that's because that's something he plays Gamma and Hammers, so I think that's something he has to be very aware of, and I think he learned a lot from it. However, I did get to play Brothers in Arms. It did go off. I did get to add my 3 dice to all my energy attacks. I did get to do an area attack with Thor, holding 2 hammers, throwing 12 dice, God of Thunder area 2 attack into multiple characters. That is how I killed Hulk, actually.
Oh boy.
That is how Hulk died. So,
I mean, that'll do it.
yeah, and that's how. Well, Groot also died by that, but Groot had a bad showing just because I got to throw Hulk into him a couple times. But
Yeah.
yeah, realizing Thor and Beta Ray Bill can throw size 4 characters, and then Angela can throw size 4 terrain. Um, it's really good for throwing. I always forget how many throws Asgard actually has. So, all in all, it was a really fun time. Noah learned a lot in the games we played, which is good for him because he's still learning the game. I felt bad because I felt like he left kind of defeated, so I had to send him a little pep talk message because he did. There was a point early in that game where I actually had to like kind of put my foot on the gas because it would have got really ugly if I was really nonchalant. My games against Borka were great. It's always good to play Borka. My game against Brad was really good as far as I remember. Besides Beta Ray, Bill just did absolutely nothing actually the entire day. Just got he got up and down against um Borka, and then he didn't do anything in my game against Brad, and he didn't do really anything. He was alive to play Brothers in Arms. That's about all he did in my game against Noah. So That is a synopsis of all the games that I've played this past week.
I think that with Beta Ray Bill, everyone knows how good he is, so they focus on him.
Yeah, he's definitely targeted. It was like the Blade effect for a while, is when you realized that Midnight Suns just didn't operate without Blade, so you just
Yeah.
took him out really fast. It felt really similar to that. It feels really similar to that. I played Hella. Oh, I didn't say who I played in my game against Noah. I played Hella, Thor, Beta Ray Bill, and Angela.
How did Hella do?
She died
Yeah.
real fast.
Okay.
It wasn't her fault. His Beta Ray Bill was not awful. I wasn't able to get and I wasn't able to get like Souls tokens. Um, the last time I played her, she did really well. But like I wasn't able to get the Souls tokens. Like she has a good attack suite. I just wasn't able. Beta Ray Bill just. So I moved Beta Ray Bill up. I moved her up to take the hammer on the right side. Beta Ray Bill came up and got an attack in, and then Hulk. That's when he jumped Hulk over and moved him and then attacked her. So like
Oh,
whatever.
yeah, she died.
Yeah. Yeah, she just died. And then I never got. There was never a scenario like I could have activated her first, but there was no real benefit in it. And then he just decided to take her out, so she ended up dying.
Yeah. Okay.
But the trade-off was I did the same thing to Star-Lord on the other side with Angela.
Oh.
So I lost Hela, but he lost Star-Lord almost simultaneously, and that's a trade. Even though there's a point difference, that's almost a trade I would take every time.
I agree.
Yeah, getting rid of those damn winging it tokens
Mm-hmm.
is.
Okay. Well,
Do you lose them immediately if he's KO'd? Like even in the middle of the round, do you lose
You
them? You lose
don't
them
lose
immediately,
them,
right?
but you can't spend them.
You can't spin them. Yeah, they just sit on them, right? Okay.
Yeah.
We played that correctly, and that's the way he played it. He assumed, and it was. I felt I was proud, but I also wanted to make sure that that was correct.
Yeah. They actually
okay. Well,
never leave
Brad.
those characters.
They just sit there forever.
Yeah. Because
I'm gonna tell him that because he would enjoy that.
the leadership tells you when to take them off, and the leadership's not around anymore.
Oh, so yeah, they're cool. They are really cool tokens.
They're pretty cool. I played Brandon. We played Mutant Madmen and Cubes. Nightcrawler grabbed the middle cube and teleported backwards. And then on my right flank, it was X-23 and Honey Badger versus Beta Ray Bill and Thor. That went better than that sounds like it should have gone. Nightcrawler.
Yeah, it's as bad as that should have went. It did not.
Nightcrawler ended up over on that side too, but he didn't really get to do anything because X-23 and Honey Badger did all the work. And then on my left flank, he had Angela and Pyro against Wolverine and Cyclops.
Big Daddy C.
Yeah. And that went extraordinarily well.
Angela did fine.
Angela did okay. I still dazed
In the rest of this, she, compared to everybody else on my side this game, she did fine.
Thor did okay. Beta Ray Bill.
I was experimenting with Beta Ray Bill. Did not do a damn thing. I was experimenting with Pyro in the first two games I played, and I just don't think it's probably just not worth it. I really wanted to see if I could just give out incinerates and just do, but it's probably better as Valkyrie or Scourge 98% of the time.
Definitely in this game. So one thing I thought was great was Brandon double moved Beta Ray Bill up to my cube and Mutant Madman thing. Trap. That's what they're called. They're called traps. And he took the cube and flipped the trap on my side of the board. And if he had someone like Valkyrie on the other side, he could have done that with Angela as well. And that would have put me in a pretty tough spot.
Yeah. It would have been a much better play.
He would have
It
had
would have definitely.
4 cubes. He would have had all 4 traps at one point, and I would have had to be rolling 2 successes to steal them. Well, on the Cyclops side, I might have been able to get it pretty free, but if I just roll
Cyclops being
wild,
able to roll, he rolls. Yeah,
he just has to roll wild
that's
to push you off. But it
yeah.
would have been real tough to come back from that kind of a lead. But he had Pyro, so he couldn't quite do all that.
Yeah. He's probably getting the old axe, unfortunately, but it was worth testing. That's the point of
Yeah.
playing game nights is, testing stuff out and
Uh,
getting punched and making sure Beta Ray Bill is his name. He's a beta.
the 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 game was really close, and you were ahead until the last turn, right? And then I scored like 6 points and won. Is that how that went?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought so.
Yeah, I just couldn't get Thor couldn't close Nightcrawler being able to run away was
Yeah.
I think he had 3 cubes and just kind
Yeah.
of ran away. Yeah.
Yes.
Which was really, really good. I had a chance. I think I had one attack into him that I needed to do like 2 damage and just
I know. I don't even think you got to attack him.
I couldn't remember. I didn't think I
I
did.
didn't.
I
I don't
think I
think you got to
tried to. I
attack
think
him.
that was like the
Yeah.
goal.
You
I
you
think I needed.
you went that way, and then you could not get to him.
Yeah.
So you
The
attacked
the
X-23.
beauty. Yeah. Turn around and try to do some, and I don't think I did any damage to her. So
And then
it was a fun game.
I played Borka, and we were on Gamma Scrolls, and he had new Captain America, Captain Marvel, new Iron Man, Killmonger, Wolverine.
You you guys played 20, right?
Whatever that added up to.
You guys both of you played 5 4s.
That's right, we did. I had Cyclops, Wolverine, Psylocke, Colossus, Nightcrawler. Um, the game was going pretty well for me. I dazed Captain America turn 1, but then you can't kill him.
You can't
No,
at all.
no, you just can't kill him. He doesn't. I had Psylocke thinking he still had the weakness to Mystic. He does not. He does not. So you just can't
Yeah.
kill him. But it was going well for me until Captain America took out Psylocke and Colossus in an activation from almost full health both. And that turned the game around and I lost.
Oh well.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
I
know
mean, Captain
there was a
America.
big turn in that one. I think Borka did a really good job of showcasing the new Earth's Mightiest Heroes models. I think new Captain America is really good. I didn't
Yeah.
there was a lot that I think like Brad we just didn't assume was on his card or assumed that he had a weakness to Mystic and
Yeah.
uh
He just does not.
stuff like
Yeah,
that. He just
And
he's
doesn't
real good.
die.
he
Like
got he got
doesn't
a
die.
he got a ton of re rolls from new Iron Man.
Yep.
And it was really good.
I didn't get to
Those two
experience
work
new
together.
Iron Man very well because he just died in the game that I played.
Yeah, well, he did not die in my game. I don't even think I ever got to attack him. He was on his back gamma,
Yeah.
and the fight was on the middle and on my gamma, unfortunately.
Yeah. Yeah, that's not where you want that fight
No,
to be.
no, I do not want that fight there. Well, it was a good game. I lost.
For those listening, we don't just always play Gamma, even though Gamma was played a lot
Well, I think Borka. It had to have been in Borka's list because there's no way it was in mine. And we just
Yeah, it
happened
was
to
in
draw it.
his. I was in all of Borka's. It did not get pulled from me.
Mm.
I don't have it in Asgard.
Uh,
Maybe he was just playing 3 copies of Gamma.
maybe, maybe. We were playing scrolls, and he kept forgetting that it wasn't hammers, and he
Yeah,
kept trying to roll extra
I'm
dice.
telling you, the tokens, man. Those tokens, the universal tokens are they mess me up. They mess. I feel like they messed a lot of people up. I know they messed Fred up a lot when he was just spectating, but they messed me up a lot playing. I've kept forgetting they were hammers and just wasn't rolling extra dice.
Yeah.
But it's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just do better, be better.
Well, uh, so that was the games that we have played recently. uh, is there anything else that we need to cover before we go to the person we're covering today?
I think that's plenty.
I don't think. Yeah, I think so. So the person we are covering today is Shadowcat, otherwise known as Catherine Kitty Pride. Her defenses are 3 physical, 3 energy, and 3 mystic. She has 5 health on both her front and backside. She's threat 3, size 2, and movement speed long. And Brad, why don't you cover her attack suite?
Sure. Her first attack is physical. It's called Phasing Strike. It is range 2, 4 dice, and it's free. You gain power equal to damage dealt. They don't get to count crits in their defense roll or add extra dice because of crits. And it has a wild place within one of itself. She places within one of herself. Her next attack is Energy. Get 'em Lockheed. It's range 3, 4 dice. It is also free. It gains her power and has Wild Incinerate. And her last attack is physical. It's called Intangible Assault. It is range 3, 7 dice. It costs 3. It has the same rule where they don't get to add crits to their defense roll and cannot roll additional dice for crits. And has wild placed within, she places within 2 of herself.
Okay. And Brandon, why don't you finish out the card?
For an active superpower, for 2 power, it's Phase Rush. You place this character within 2 of its current position. It can only be used once per turn. And then for a reactive superpower, can't touch this. Meow, 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 meow. Costs 2 power. When this character or an allied character within 2 is targeted by a physical or energy attack, or would make a dodge roll, this character may use a superpower. This character adds 2 dice to the defense or dodge roll if this character or an allied character is pushed or thrown by the special rules of the attack. After the effect is resolved, you may place the pushed or thrown character within 1 of itself. And then she has stealth.
And that's what she does. That is her card. What I know that Brad has played this character.
Yeah.
Um, what are
I've got
your thoughts here, Brad? I'm gonna throw it to you first.
Okay. I've got thoughts. First of all, never thought that X-Men would get a long mover. It's even better that she's 3 points. She has stealth and can add dice. And all of that doesn't matter as much as not counting crits and not rolling extra dice on her crit attacks. That is so good. That cuts
I
defenses
am
by more than a third.
Ugh. Okay. That's she seems so like it really buffs her attacks, and her spender is 7 dice, which is pretty dang solid for only
It's
3 power.
pretty good. If her builder was 5 dice, she'd probably be S tier.
She'd have to be a 4-point model at that point.
Yeah.
If she had 5
Here's the
dice on
thing.
the yeah.
Speaking of her being a 4-point model, no changes if she's a 4-point model. She's still okay.
Yeah. The only difference, like if she's a 4-point model, the only thing you do is you add a health on the front side and give her like 4 mystic or 4, like one of her defenses goes to 4. Like that's the only difference between her and like half of the 4-point models, except for everything on her card is relevant.
It is.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
great. And like normally when you have a model that's like that wants to do everything on their card, um, they can't afford to do it. She is pretty okay spending no power. And then when she has power, she just goes up to 11.
Well, she can also turn 1 move, attack in place.
Yes. If they're on the middle, she
Which
can
is
do that.
Yeah.
she can do it on any point because she's got a range 3 get 'em Lockheed, so that gives her the extra power to be able to place.
True, true, true. I was thinking
So
of the
she
phasing strike. But yes.
Yeah, so she can move
And it gives
long,
out
get them
insanity.
Lockheed. Yeah, plus first class reimburses, right?
No, it just makes it free.
Yeah, so she can move up, interact. If she can't get there, she can then get them Lockheed, get the extra power, place, and then interact.
Yep.
So she can move, place, attack, and interact all in the first turn.
Yep.
She is
Fantastic first turn.
she's single-handedly the reason in my mind she's the reason and solely why Storm got knocked down a peg.
Not
There,
Nightcrawler.
no, yeah, I think it's a
I think it's
combination. I think
both of
these
them.
two models
Yeah.
coming out, yeah,
Yeah.
these two models coming out are the reason that Storm got nerfed,
Yeah.
and like I'll never be able to be convinced otherwise. Like because that like the timing was too much. Like it was like, oh, Storm's nerfed. By the way, here is Shadowcat and Nightcrawler, which are why this is happening. Because I don't think with the old Storm you could beat that. Like I don't know how you beat that roster, especially with Can't Touch This being online on turn 1
Yeah.
every game and being able to just buff all your like didn't you like you not only have cover from Storm, now you can add 2 dice and get people away from other people.
It only places them if they get pushed or thrown.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the add dice. It adds 2 dice
Oh
to the
yeah. Okay.
defense roll. So you can pay 2 power now you're just not killing things because now you have cover from Storm's leadership and 2 dice on all your defense
Yeah.
rolls. Like how are you killing anybody?
Yeah. I mean, you're right. That is that
Models
is an
that should be
incredible
dying
combination.
are not dying. Yeah, yeah. This model is absolutely her and Nightcrawler both are just really,
And
really like they are 100% why we can't have old Storm in the world.
and
And
she
someone's gonna pick up this game and play those models together and be like, "What is happening?"
she is also still good under Storm because she's
Yes.
pretty good at scenario. And she's really good under Cyclops. She plays under both leaders very well.
Oh yeah. No, she's still really good. Wild Incinerate's really good. Not being able to attack is really good. Having defensive tech is really good. Being able to play is really good. I mean, she does everything that she wants to be doing. I mean, the 5 defense on each side or 5 health on each side is kind of rough. But
I mean, you can't
yeah,
have everything.
yeah. Like if she has a 6 on either side, this character's too good. Like too good. So it's really good. I think most of the threes in X Men are 5 and 5, aren't they?
Yeah. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. So, I like the suite of attacks. This character is this kind of reminds me of old Valkyrie where there's too much good on the card. Um, and for those that have been playing the game for a long time, remember when Valkyrie was just like the best model in the game
She
or the
was in
best
every
3 in the
list.
game? Yeah, you just played her in every list. When you have a lot of stuff that does a lot of good things, Um, fun fact, it usually is good. And she has a pet dragon, so like I'm on.
Yeah, she rules. I think she's great.
She is.
Um,
She is good.
I've played against her one time and it felt really bad. Did not feel good. Nightcrawler has felt fair at least playing against him.
Yeah.
Shadowcat didn't feel good. She just did whatever she wanted to. I didn't. I mean, I kind of played that game. That was more Noah playing, but it was like moving long in X-Men is not something the world needed.
right.
It's
The, it
something Brad needed, but not the
it
rest of the
used
world.
to be. It used to be that they would splash long movers just to have long
Yeah.
movers. I think Shadowcat is the first one that you grab. The first 3-pointer you grab for X Men now.
Do you play? So I can't even like the question I was gonna phrase. I can't even phrase because like she's just perfect under Storm. I was gonna say like I think this model is like kind of comparison is like what Black Cat was before her nerf.
Yeah.
Um, I'm not sure she's as good as Black Cat was. I
No,
think
because
she's
Black Cat was
better
way
in
too
X.
good.
I think she's better in X-Men, but the stagger that Black Cat gives out is still really, really good. But that being in the same conversation as Black Cat, which is I think where Shadowcat sits, is just insane.
Yeah, because there was a period of time where Black Cat was probably S tier. Uh,
There was a significant amount of time before her
yeah,
nerf. She was one of the three best models in the game, and it was her, Doctor Voodoo, and probably what Hulk. And Black
uh,
Cat's still really
Two
good.
Stone Thanos.
Yeah, I mean that's the conversation you're at. You're in that S tier with
Yeah,
those models, and Black Cat's Shadow Cat definitely. You know that comparison. I mean that's a good comparison to be a part of.
yeah.
I don't know if she was quite in that realm, just because. Well, even what Black Cat still does, like her nerf makes it a little bit more awkward for her with the Master Cat Burglar being action, which is what it should have always been.
Hmm.
Black Cat's still really, really good. Um, but Shadow Cat, yeah, I think it's right on par with where she's at currently, which is still one of the better models in the game. And I think Shadowcat's tough thing is I don't know how many people are going to splash her, and I think they're wrong for that.
Yeah, she's absolutely splashable.
Yeah, it's
She's
you
very
should be
good.
splashing her, but it's wrong if you're not. I mean I've said it multiple times now. I do like the fact that the game is getting closer to a point where it seems like more people aren't splashing models and just playing all like affiliated models. I do enjoy that. That's part of what I would really want like a part of this game. Like the best thing this game could have done is release a format that's exactly what they did, like 3 list format, but you have to play only affiliated listed models.
Ooh.
Like I would much rather enjoy doing something like that. I try not to splash many models. Um, but this model is definitely a model like this is a model that you buy that box for and then forget that the other model in the box is also really good.
Well, we don't know what he does yet.
I just assume they've done a really good job. We haven't got a bad model in a long time.
I mean, that's true. That's
Like
true.
they're pretty consistent at this point. Like, but I feel like no matter what comes, like how they are in this box, like it's just not gonna level up to what Shadowcat is. It didn't matter how good Amazing Spider-Man was. Like you bought that box because of Black Cat,
Yeah.
and you just owned an Amazing Spider-Man because.
He
And
has
then
his
some of us
place
sold
now.
Amazing Spider-Man and then won him back.
Yeah, he has
Yeah,
his
I know.
place
I don't
now.
want to talk about it. Yeah, because I sold him, and now I need another one.
The
So if
moment you
anyone's
got rid of
selling an
him.
Amazing Spider-Man, just hit me a message.
Well, I feel like we're quite up on Kitty Pride, on Shadowcat, I should say. Uh, I I I think that there is not a tactics card that we know of yet. I'm sure that she will have one in her box.
I'm pretty sure
But
she
we
does.
don't know what it is. Yeah. So we'll find out, and it can only make it better. If worst case scenario, it's useless and she just never brings it, and best case scenario, it's an amazing card.
It's unfortunate. They've also done a good job with the tactics cards. We've seen a lot of um, tactics cards that are, like I said, we usually get a fun one, a playable one, and then like a bad one. So as long as the bad one's not the only one that has her name on it, we're probably in a good spot.
I guess that it is time to give her a letter grade. Um,
She probably, by the way, she
Brad,
probably has two tactics cards. There's one called Faithful Companion. That's probably something with
Lockheed.
Lockheed. And then there's one called
yep.
Hold Still that has her on it, phasing into the head of a Nimrod. So that one's potentially hers as well. That could be a neutral, but.
Yeah.
All right. Are we giving
Well,
letter
Brad,
grades?
yeah. I'm throwing it to you because you've actually played her on the table.
She's at least A, and I could be convinced to go to A plus. I save A's for splashable characters, which we never get anymore. You can play her in almost anywhere, and she's gonna shine. She's so good.
Okay. I'm also going to give her an A. I think that A sounds exactly correct. She hits so hard for a 3-pointer, and your opponent not counting crits is so huge. It's a huge effect. Brandon?
I don't want to be the highest grade again.
Do it. Give her the A
Do
Uh,
it.
plus.
Do it.
yeah, I think she's an A plus. Just the being able to do what I said on turn one every single game is really good. That's in affiliation. Out of affiliation, you can still do most of it. Um, it's just really, really good. She does everything really good. If you want to play any kind of scenario plays, like scenario play, she's really good. There's a real list available now with like Mystique and like Enchantress and like Shadowcat where you can really just mess with the opponent on everything that they're doing with like Black Cat and stuff. There's a really controlly Emma Frost list that can be built out there in the world. Um, and I think she's going to be in consideration for every list that gets built, honestly. Especially if you're looking at splashable 3-point characters, like I think she's right up there with like I mean the most splash 3-point characters right now are Black Cat, Pyro, and probably Sam. I think she's better than Sam. I think she does more than Pyro does, and I think the argument can be made about Black Cat. I think Black Cat's still better. Um, but I think she's up there.
She's also I don't think we covered this enough. She's one of the most mobile characters in the game.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
absolutely.
I hinted at it. We definitely. Yeah, being able to do everything she wants to do is going to be really really good. She can do whatever she wants. And that's coming from a person who has in one activation tried to flip all 4 sword bases with Ghost Rider. So like it's something you can definitely do. So there are more mobile characters, but at 3 costs, you're not. The value is absolutely insane with Shadowcat, and she's possibly got a dragon token with her. So do what you do. Do what you want with that information.
All right. Well, Brad, do you have any comic books that feature Shadowcat?
I sure do.
Has she ever been? Has she ever even been in a comic book?
Yes, yeah. This is not an M'Baku situation where I literally did not find anything with that version of the character. She is all
Mm-hmm.
over the comic books. So I have 3 recommendations. Uh, there is Uncanny X-Men 143. This is Chris Claremont and John Byrne. And this is a Kitty Pryde solo story. It's Christmas Eve, and Kitty's home alone, probably because she's Jewish. It's exclusively she did not want to go out and celebrate Christmas with everyone else. And a demon attacks the mansion while she's there, and nobody's there to save her, so she saves herself. Um, it's very good single issue. You don't need to know what else is going on, but if you like the issue, read all of the Chris Claremont Uncanny X-Men issues because they're all good.
Okay.
For,
Do they usually leave students there by themselves?
all the
Is
time,
that something
Fred.
that
All
happens
the time, Fred.
at the
She
mansion?
she is also at this point a full member of the X-Men
Okay.
because
So she's not like a teenager who's left alone at the school.
she absolutely is only 13.
Oh my god.
She is also the only kid there.
She's
So she is a member of the X-Men
Okay.
instead of there's an issue I almost put on here. I think it's 168 where the X-Men including Kitty Pryde get back from space and
Oh my god.
and Professor X thought that they were dead, and so he created a new team of young X-Men teenagers called the New Mutants, and they get back, and he tries to demote her onto the teen team, and there's a very famous panel where she's like walking out the door and turns around and says Professor Xavier is a jerk, because he is. That's absolutely correct. Anyway,
Hey,
but
I have a very important question. I have a very important
yeah.
question before we go on. Is Professor X the bad guy? Like big time? Like is he using child soldiers to forward his political gains?
Um,
Is he Coney? Are we gonna have to have Professor X 2023?
so
that's a good point.
have you
He's
ever
got a good point.
heard the saying, "The road to hell is paved with good intentions"?
Yes.
That sums up Professor X perfectly.
I mean, he is a man who killed his twin in the womb because he thought she was evil.
To be fair to him, she was evil.
Yeah,
So
but I mean, who is he? He has no wisdom at that time point. He's a baby.
uh,
Evil
An
is
unborn baby.
an unborn baby.
listen,
Like he just made that
when you know
assumption.
your twin's evil, you know your twin's evil. What can I say? Anyway, she proves herself
Professor X
again
2023. It's time to end him. It's
uh,
time to put him away.
in 168. She
Get
proves
the UN
herself.
on it.
She proves herself again and gets to stay on the X-Men team instead of the New Mutants. So there's a little bonus story. That's also a good one. Kitty Pryde and Wolverine. This is a mini series by Chris Claremont and Al Milgrom. And one of Logan's former enemies, who is dead, possesses her body and trains her to be a ninja. And Logan has to come and try to save her, and he can't. And she saves herself again.
Okay.
That's an ongoing Kitty Pryde theme. She saves herself.
Kitty Pryde saves herself
Yep.
all the time.
This is also where she gets the code name Shadowcat and her awesome ninja skills, which, being a ninja who can walk through walls, makes you the best ninja ever.
I mean, that is true.
Yeah.
You can't be stopped.
She's later also a pirate, so she's that perfect Venn diagram of ninja and pirate.
Oh my goodness.
The pirate stuff's really good.
She's your favorite character. She's your
She's
favorite character in X-Men.
she used to be number 2, and then I started reading the X-Men books, and now 1 and 2 are way more obscure, but she's definitely in my top 10. But so is Nightcrawler. I have a theory that Nightcrawler is
Who,
is in everybody's top 5 mutants.
I mean, you're right. I have a question.
Yes.
Now that you've said it, who are 1 and 2? If they're really obscure.
So number 1's not quite as obscure anymore. It's Multiple Man. I love Multiple Man.
Oh yeah, okay.
You knew that already. I talk about Multiple Man all the time.
I
Can't
did know
wait
that.
till they add him to the game. And number 2 is Mimic, but not the Mimic most people know. So there's a version of Mimic from Exiles that's from an alternate universe. I don't care for him very much. The Mimic of the main universe. He is a complete loser. He's probably bipolar. And I just really like him.
Okay.
He's just interesting. So the last suggestion here is Astonishing X-Men. This is by Joss Whedon and John Cassaday. You may know Joss Whedon as the writer of shows like Firefly, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Dollhouse, and the first 2 Avengers movies. And a bunch of other movies that he script doctored for that he never got credit for. And it would not be an understatement to say that Joss Whedon has shaped modern pop culture to
maybe
be
more than any other single person.
Modern, yeah, probably. Like the fact that most action movies have little jokes in them is totally a Joss Whedon thing.
Yeah.
The amount of people who can't spell his name correctly.
I mean, it is a weird name.
So. It is a weird name.
Anyway, this is most fans like this series. There are some that find the flaws of this series to be ones that they cannot get over. But most X-Men fans love this series. Kitty is the main character. She's very important to the story. You don't need a lot of background to read this. You just need to know that Colossus died and has been dead for a while at this point. But it's 25 issues and then like an annual, an oversized issue. Kitty's maybe the main character, like the most central character. But her biggest moments are at the end of the series, like the last arc and then the oversized issue. That's when she does her big stuff. But she's important throughout. If you like Emma Frost, you might like this series, or you might hate it. That's the sticking point for some fans, is that depending on your view of Emma Frost, you'll either like it or hate it. So Cassandra Nova shows up in this. Cyclops is pretty cool. There's some characters that this is the first time they show up and are important to this day, like Danger.
Cyclops never cool.
Cyclops.
Now you're just trying
cool.
to start shit.
Fred, do you know who Danger is?
No idea.
So
it's so many people's middle name.
Funny. Danger is the AI for the Danger Room that Professor X had been enslaving for years to run scenarios to train the X-Men, and Danger finally breaks free and tries to kill the X-Men for real.
Yeah, so Professor X enslaving intelligences for his own for training his child soldiers,
Uh-huh. Yeah.
and
Artificial intelligences, but still intelligences.
intelligences that have enough
Fred,
capacity to decide to kill everybody.
what if I told you that
Yes.
To be
Cerebro
fair, if Professor X wanted to kill everybody, he would.
uh what if I told you Cerebro also broke free and tried to kill the X-Men earlier?
I mean, it is absolutely par for the course. I feel the more you talk about it, the more I think that Professor X is really the problem. I think it's
Uh
Professor X.
every time Professor X is gone and someone else is in charge of the school, things go better.
Not surprised. They're probably not trying to forward a child soldier heavy uh a political agenda.
Well, Cyclops kind of did, but
Yeah, because he's
yeah. Okay,
like
here's
Professor
another.
X's.
Here's
Okay.
the a weird thing about X-Men, Fred. Wolverine and Cyclops had a big fight over what to do about the children, and Wolverine was like, "We should protect them and not make them fight," and Cyclops was the one that said, "No, we should make them fight." Isn't that backwards?
Yeah, it seems like. Well, no, I mean, I don't know.
It
It,
is
it, it I know that you've gone through this before, where the movies kind of get them backwards
a
from how
little
they
bit,
should be.
yeah.
But I feel like Logan cares about the well-being of children. God, this is an insane conversation.
Well, you say that, but he also had his teenage clone daughter on his kill squad. So does he really?
Yeah,
Does
no.
he?
No. Well, is that it for the comic book recommendations now that
Yeah.
you've turned everyone against the X-Men?
No. No, no, no. The X-Men are
I
complicated.
didn't have to be turned.
Uh but you should read X-Men comics. They're very good.
All right. Well, Brandon, uh I'm sure that there are a lot of affiliations, I should say, that can use Shadowcat to her best abilities. Tell us one that you've thought of.
Um, Weirdly, I think I really like her in A Force. The extra power just helps a lot. But I also really want to play her with Emma Frost, as mentioned earlier, in more of a like control variant.
In
Um,
Hellfire Club.
and Hellfire Club, which is
I
kind of a cop out, but
I have one. I
go
What's yours,
for it.
Brad?
I have an affiliation to play her in. Um Green Goblin.
I'm listening.
Green Goblin Spider Foes. I mean,
So that you can force them to re-roll even more of their defense dice because they don't get crits. Like
yeah.
anytime they get a shield, you
So
force them to re-roll it.
yeah, and the chances are they are not going to hit anything
Yeah,
because
Huh.
only
she is
two
slow.
results.
It
Yeah,
is really funny because it is very slowly becoming that like Spider Foes is a very like controlling scenario based faction
they
where
are.
where they came
Like,
out as a very bad attacking attrition faction.
yeah, they were a bad attack faction, and now they're a good scenario faction.
Yeah,
It's weird.
which is hilarious. It's a good thing. That's where I think that's a better fit for them in the game.
I agree. All right. Well, I guess the only thing that's left
Oh,
is
she's
my.
really good
Oh,
at Inhumans too.
oh yeah.
She's real good at
You want to go over
Inhumans.
it?
Oh
Like, what
god,
are you thinking?
there's just a lot of. I mean, just like the long, like, because Inhumans got really good at scenario play, And then just being able to kind of make sure you can give her the additional power before she does anything, and their leadership allows the turn one play without first class of move, attack, place, objective.
Yep.
Where most of the other ones require something to happen, Inhumans just let you get one power. And you're in a faction that allows a lot of rerolls in Inhumans, and being able to prevent it's really good. Oh, yeah, it's really good. And Black Bolt's just really
I
good
just
now.
want to point out that Kitty Pride would never work for the Inhumans.
I didn't, and that I'll be real, like that wasn't even a jab at Brad. Like, legitimately, she is super good with Inhumans. And they can also play Quicksilver if you want to just play super scenario play.
She
Oh my
would,
goodness.
however, work for the Spider Foes because the Ultimate Universe version of Kitty Pride dated Peter Parker.
So why would that
Wait,
make
so
her
why
work
would she work for the
them?
Spider
Doesn't everyone
Foes?
hate their ex?
That's fair.
I mean,
That's fair.
okay.
It's a decent point. I like it. I don't think. I mean, yeah, never mind. Yeah, I like it. Good point.
All right, all right. Well, the only thing that's left is my non sequitur recommendation. So, Kitty Pride was played by Elliot Page in the movie. So I'm going to tell people to go watch The Umbrella Academy on Netflix.
Good pick.
This show is really like it's a bananas show. It's weird, but it's also a ton of fun. It is very good show actually, and it just recently got I think actually not recently, a couple months ago, got picked up for a fourth season. So
fourth and
there's another
final
season coming. Fourth and final season, yes.
Fred, would you be shocked to hear that X-Men was one of the inspirations behind the Umbrella Academy?
Huh. I definitely didn't pick that up. It's certainly not absolutely written all over it.
Umbrella Academy is. I didn't see season 3, but the first 2 seasons I thought were really enjoyable.
Then
Yeah,
you should
it's a
keep
fun
watching
show.
it.
Yeah. I haven't watched a TV show in a long time. I'm also really behind on Lock and Key, which is a show I really
I've
liked.
read those comics. I need to watch more of that show. I've seen the first season.
I have
The first
not watched
season was
the
really
show.
good. The comics also really good.
This is going to sound insane to both of you. I have not watched the show. I have read the comics.
What?
That's wild, actually.
Yeah, I have read them. They are great.
A lot of people have read them because they're Joe Hill, Stephen King's son.
Yeah, it's yeah.
So they've got a lot.
They're
more
very, very good.
readership.
They're a very good read.
They are. They're very, very.
As
good.
far as season 1 was concerned, the story was great and the acting was above average for a Netflix inspired or a Netflix funded like TV show. So like I enjoyed it. I just realized they have like 3 or 4 seasons out.
Yeah.
So I'm not even just like a little behind. I'm super behind.
I guess I need to watch this show. I have not watched it.
You would definitely enjoy it.
Yeah.
It ain't no cube, but it's good.
Did you like the comics, Fred?
I did. I thought they were amazing.
Then you should watch the show.
Yeah. I have no excuse. All right. Well, on that note, everybody, it has been great hearing from all of you. I'm going to call it a day for this week. Come back next week for another episode of Crit Head Wild, and good night.